Thunderstorms in the late afternoon in the summertime, they pop up when it gets hot, when it gets like 100 degrees here in Oklahoma. We have thunderstorms pop up and torrential rains. They don't last long, but they cause the fish to move in a certain area. Where is that area? Whoa! That's a beauty. Good morning, guys and girls. Good morning. August 2nd, and it's going to be another barn burner. It's been hot. We've had some 100-degree days here in Oklahoma toward the end of July. Summer finally got here. It took a long time, but it finally got here. August 2nd, we're looking at Titus 3:9. Titus 3:9. This is a really good one. Airplane going right overhead. I always love airplanes going right overhead. That's a nice looking airplane, I guarantee you that. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Titus 3:9, and this is, like I said, a very good one. Stay away from those who have foolish arguments. Stay away from those who have foolish arguments. Oh, my goodness. Well, this devotional here this morning is a little outdated from the start of it, because it says at the start, Chris's mom is over 80 years old. Over 80 years old. Well, Chris's mom has gone on to be with the Lord, but when I wrote this book back in 2005, and you know, Chris's mom, it hasn't been that long since she died, just not too long ago. She lived for a long, long time. But Chris's mom, and don't, I put on here, don't tell her I told you this. And I think because when I wrote it, she was not quite 80. She was not quite 80. But anyway, you know, she's a great woman. Chris's mom is over 80 years old, but still loves to fish. She still catches her share of bass and catfish, plus more bluegill than anyone. As a matter of fact, the day Chris's mom died of complications from a stroke, and the day that she had that stroke, she was here at the ranch with us. And she had been fishing earlier that day. She had fished the day before and the day before and the day before. So she got to fish the last several days before she had that stroke. And she lived for a couple of weeks, and that's one of the things, obviously, that we were really fighting when Chris had her stroke, was just keeping her alive, just keeping her alive. And Grandma Lizzie never recovered from that stroke, but Chris and I was actually out here outside putting varnish on the house. We were actually out here, you know, painting the house and putting stain on the logs. And she said, "Oh, it's getting late in the evening. I need to get in there and take Mom down there fishing. She'll be all after me." And she went in the house, and she was slumped over and found out she had her stroke. And she didn't make it through that stroke. She lived a couple, 2 or 3 weeks or a month or so maybe after that, but the stroke is actually what got her. But she was actually going to go fishing that evening. So she caught lots and lots and lots of fish. She also loves her God and her church, and she is there helping, working, and worshiping anytime the doors are open. She knows everything that's going on about Keys Baptist Church. Here's the amazing thing, though, and this is the crux of why I included Grandma Lizzie in this. The amazing thing is she won't argue about anything with anybody in that church. Chris says that her mom just plays dumb when someone wants to create a controversy. You hear that statement there? She will not argue with anyone about anything in that church. Isn't that amazing? Staying out of arguments is probably the smartest thing any church member can do. I can even say staying out of arguments is probably the smartest thing that any of us can do, church member or not. Let's face it, loving and encouraging one another honors God. Do you hear what I'm saying? Loving and encouraging others honors God. Arguing and tearing down is honoring Satan. You make the call. You make the call. Today, tomorrow, this week, most every one of us is going to have a chance to argue with somebody about something. Now, arguments are not always ugly. Sometimes they're friendly discussions, but sometimes those friendly discussions just get a little carried away. My daddy told me when I was really young to never argue about politics or religion. And he said, both of them, you know, you'll never probably ever get the other person to understand what you're talking about. They'll probably never make you understand what they're talking about. It's almost a lose-lose situation in those two categories. I believe that's probably true. And you know, it's probably a bigger problem right now in our country than it's ever been, particularly when it comes to politics. And there is a lot of argument about religion too going on. But here's the deal. Arguing and tearing down is honoring Satan. That's enough for me to try to stay away from it right there. That's enough for me to try to stay away from it. Do I always succeed in that? Absolutely not. But I'm going to tell you what, as I've got older, as I've got closer to God, I have fewer and fewer and fewer arguments. I can't remember the last time I argued with somebody. I'm kind of like Chris's mom. I play dumb in a lot of situations and just let the comments and the statements that somebody else said that might have provoked an argument just go right over my head and let them come off my back just like water off a duck's back. Because loving and encouraging one another, and it's difficult to love and encourage if you're in an argument with somebody. Hard to do that. Encouraging and honoring, and encouraging and loving one another honors God. And that's what we want to do. We want to honor God. Tearing down and arguing honors Satan. So that's a choice we can make. Some of us will have a choice to make that chance today. I hope it's not me. But somebody will have a choice to make it, a chance to make that choice. Guys and girls, stay away from those who have foolish arguments. Titan 3:9. Here's our tip for today. Heavy, late afternoon thunderstorms like we may have today, heavy, late afternoon thunderstorms quickly move fish into runoff areas. That's right. Those storms generally are torrential downfalls. We've had some situations here in Oklahoma in the last couple of weeks where we've got like 3 inches in 30 minutes or something. 3 inches in less than an hour. And they create a lot of runoff. They create, because they're raining so hard it just can't sink into the ground, doesn't have time, and it creates runoffs. The bass will go to those runoffs immediately, even in 100-degree weather. And you can catch them up in shallow water where you have runoffs from those heavy rains. And we're having them in Oklahoma. It happens every July and August. We're thankful for those rains because it's about the only rain we get, July and August. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. And remember, I sure do love you.